scowling, snarling and table-thumping to attract the attention of the long-legged, short-skirted, big-haired, big-bosomed waitress. But suddenly here she was at Chris's side, leaning over his table and threatening to poke his blurred blue eyes out. "Full breakfast, sir," she purred. "A man your size needs to keep his strength up." "Try the mixed seafood platter," suggested Roz callously. "Baby sand lizards, squid, honey-covered sea slugs, and deep-fried eels." Chris shuddered and shook his head. Looking up at the waitress and then hurriedly raising his eyes to her face, he said desperately, "Just tea. Do you have any herb tea?" "I'll bring you some Matera," cooed the waitress seductively. "Specially imported from Rigel 4. They say it has aphrodisiac properties." "Don't waste your time, sister," said Roz. "To do him or you any good, it'd need to have corpse-raising properties." The waitress gave her a murderous smile and flounced away. Roz sat back and surveyed her unhappy partner. "Now, what do we do during our first few days on a strange planet?" she said in schoolmarmish tones. "We have our shots, we swallow our pills, we eat bland foods till our system settles down and acclimatises." "Give me a break," said Chris feebly. Remorselessly, Roz went on. "We do not make our way to the only remaining ethnic restaurant in town and blow ourselves out and Fagora fish stew." "It's the planet's speciality," pleaded Chris. "You can only get it here on Megara. Since the original population became extinct, hardly anyone knows how to make it." "Fagora fish stew is probably why the original population became extinct. You look pretty extinct yourself." "I'm all right," insisted Chris. "The pills are working." The waitress brought him a tall glass of herb tea and a dazzling smile. Cautiously, Chris sipped the straw-coloured liquid. "I don't know what's going to do you in first," said Roz wearily. "Alien cuisine or the doctor's mad schemes." She sighed. "I suppose we better hit the streets again, though what good it'll do." They had already spent several days checking the mean streets of Megacity for traces of their quarry. It was, thought Roz, an almost impossible task. Good police work was essentially local. You had to know the turf, the snitches, the players, and the patterns of crime. A new city was bad enough, but a new city covering most of a new planet was almost impossible. "Never despair," said Chris. "I think I've got a lead. Picked it up on the morning newscast." "Already? Doesn't waste any time killing again, does he?" Chris shrugged. "By now he needs cash, a new identity, a place to stay. He only knows one way of getting them. I guess that's why the doctor wants us to catch him." "The doctor wants us to find him," corrected Roz. "Find him and follow him without upsetting his delicate sensibilities. We're not doing too well, are we? We nearly had him in Formalhaut 4. We nearly had him on lots of planets, but we always end up following a trail of corpses." "We'll get him this time," said Chris confidently. "Ah, youth," thought Roz. She threw a small fortune on the table and stood up. "Well, let's get started." Megacity was a planet of perpetual night, or rather, of perpetual artificial day. The planetary sun was feeble enough to begin with, and the smog layer never let you see it anyway. All over the city, the shop windows, the ever-changing light ads, and the bar and casino signs blazed brightly all around the clock. The miners worked ever-changing shift systems, and they needed to be able to eat, drink, and play at any hour of the day and night. Roz and Chris stood looking up and down the busy street. Rickety twin walkways on either side of the road carried a variety of pedestrians. The road between them was rutted and potholed. Civic maintenance seemed to be a low priority in Megacity. Most of the miners were humanoid, with a marked tendency towards the squat and powerful. With their broad shoulders, bow legs, and pitted faces, they looked, thought Roz, like dwarves or trolls. There were quite a few non-humans mingling with the miners. Roz saw Arcturans, Alpha Centaurians, Phallardi, and Fomassi. There were also surprising numbers of a barrel-chested ursine species, resembling teddy bears with a bad attitude. She nudged Chris in the ribs as one of them shouldered his way towards them. "You spent a fortune trying to look like that." Chris nodded sadly, regretting his vanished fur. The result of an expensive body buckle, it had literally gone up in smoke. The ursine seemed to resent their interest. It lurched to a halt in front of them.
"Something funny about the way I look?"